Tonight, the exciting conclusion of an NBC world premiere miniseries. Last night, one man cast a mysterious spell.
He calls himself the Phantom of the Opera.
For years, he remained hidden far below in the catacombs.
Anyone who goes down there does not return.
I want him caught.
Until an angel's voice lured him to the surface.
Please don't be afraid. I'm a friend.
His music filled her with passion.
How will I ever repay you for this?
And she opened his heart, but another love brought great pain.
I didn't want to hurt you.
Is it someone else?
It's not what you think.
It was an unbearable tragedy that soon exploded, bringing a shattering end to all of his dreams. Tonight,
Please, where are you taking me?
That masked fiend has kidnapped her.
will the Phantom get away with his desperate plan?
With me now.
They will not let you get away with this.
They may have no choice.
Or will his outrage lead to his ultimate capture?
How could I have done this to him?
And now, the thrilling conclusion to the Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera is sponsored in part by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
This is something different. The body panels will never rust. The seats can be arranged to seat up to 7. And ask yourself, have you ever traveled like this before? Meet the new Family Lumina APV. When it comes to new ideas for the family, nobody's winning like.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
Hold me, warm me, won't you comfort me? Hug me, it makes me feel so good.
Life is full of good reasons to give someone a warm hug.
A warm hug from Campbell. Good.
I am the Colgate Wisdom Tooth, so I know biceps are not needed to fight tartar. You just need brains to buy Colgate Tartar Control. So don't brush hard, brush smart with Colgate. Colgate Tartar Control, the wise choice. I am the Colgate Wisdom Tooth. Your toothpaste should last through extra innings. So for lasting refreshment, Colgate Tartar Control. Anything else is out. Colgate Tartar Control, the wise choice.
Destination, beautiful hair. Now Revlon customizes shampoo and conditioner formulas inspired from around the world to bring out the beauty of every hair type. Introducing Revlon International for maximum volume, French formula with panthenol, Scandinavian with marigold for shimmering highlights, Australian with kiwi combined shampoo and conditioner in one, plus other formulas for every hair type. For beauty without boundaries, new Revlon Internationals.
It's a miracle. My family finally agreed on one cereal. Honey Bunches of Oats.
Nothing else is that taste, nothing else is that crunch. Honey Bunches of Oats, that's why we call it the best of the bunch.
No one else mixes honey roasted oats in bunches with crispy flakes of corn and wheat.
Nothing else is that taste, nothing else is that crunch. Honey Bunches of Oats, that's why we call it the best of the bunch.
With almonds, too.
You were very upset with me.
You should have been behaving.
I'm sorry. You're kind of short.
Blind date that she arranged.
I didn't want to remember it. You're going to bring that
Well,
up?
I just...
We went on this camping trip.
Remember that was the year that we swim in the swimming pool with the frogs?
I love Ann like a sister.
Pat Nowak has been Ann Dickerson's best friend for 16 years and her New York life agent for 7.
Why did I buy insurance from Pat? Because I think she's honest and I shopped around.
New York Life, the company you keep.
You shopped around?
Together, for the first time ever, Dustin Hoffman, Tom Cruise, Melanie Griffith, Dan Aykroyd, Charlie Sheen, Harrison Ford, Paulina, Richard Pryor, Sigourney Weaver, Leslie Nielsen, Tom Selleck, Bill Murray, and the exquisite Michelle Pfeiffer. all together in this season's HBO Simply the Best.
Chester Cheetah here. My stomach's growling has got me prowling for Cheetos. Now what's Cindy Lou up to? Out of sight. The buzzsaw bite.
Cheetos Crunch. The cheese that goes crunch.
Very soon, the time will come for the next generation of America's best-selling full-size car, the 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
Need some parental role models for a new decade? Try Monty's First My Two Dads. Mature, serious, upstanding.
Excuse me.
These guys teach kids exactly what they'll need as adults. Then there's the Hogan family, a father who's into doing it yourself.
You toasted your son!
A high-minded aunt, not to mention reliable neighbors.
Greetings, Earthling!
A veritable guide to perfect parenting.
My baby loves to be treated special.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing but ultra. Nothing but ultra.
Treat your baby to the power and performance of Sunoco Ultra 94.
Fill it up. Ultra.
At 94 octane, it's the highest under the sun. Sunoco Ultra 94.
Nothing's too good for my baby.
It's Upset City in NCAA hoops. Great action at 11.
Phantom of the Opera continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Terry Polo, and Charles Dance.
Welcome to Lumina Sedan. It has been designed with care for you and yours.
Listen to the heartbeat.
With rear doors that open wide, plenty of room for the family to enjoy. And even Scotchgard fabric protector comes standard. The family Lumina Sedan. When it comes to new ideas, nobody's winning like.
Heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet.
Professor Wayne Zielinski could use a good shrink. Instead, his kids got one.
We're all the size of boogers!
I shrunk the kids.
What?
And now you can get a hold of the action, hang on to the fun, and feel the excitement when you own...
Dad, don't eat me!
Disney's Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, now on video cassette. And on the same tape, you'll also get Tummy Trouble starring Roger Rabbit. It's two hilarious hits in one. For just $19.99 after a $3 mail-in refund, go out and get a good shrink.
What's the secret to Pop Secret microwave popcorn? Perfect popcorn popped under perfect conditions. Pop Secret leaves very few unpopped kernels. Pop Secret from Betty Crocker. It's the only way to pop.
Now, Pop Secret knows the secret to winning great prizes instantly. Prizes like Hawaiian Tropic Sun Care products, a cruise on Carnival, or $25,000. The Pop to Win game is on every bag, so to win.
Uncle Lou, what do you think of that new Diet Pepsi? What, are you nuts? I love this new Diet Pepsi so much better than Diet Coke that I would rather you drop the bowling ball on my tongue than I don't have my Diet Pepsi. I'd rather have a rash that I can't reach. I'd rather my mother-in-law come back to life. Ooh, I would rather eat lint than not have my Diet Pepsi. You understand? Yeah, you love the new Diet Pepsi. What?
Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet, the right one.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
She's a crafty granny who stole millions from investors.
She was so smooth.
Catch her on Unsolved Mysteries. Then it's a special 1-hour night course. I like it. It's twice as long.
It's my behind. It's spreading, isn't it?
And twice as funny. Then meet the men who make the millions.
Money.
10 million.
Big stakes. They want to make 60, 70, 80 million dollars.
The new Hollywood Wednesday.
I know it's early, but I think we better push the meeting up an hour. Well, I guess you haven't seen the news.
When are you going to the bank?
Maybe on my way to work, maybe on the way home. Depends on the traffic.
Good morning, is
Better hurry. It's your turn to take Janie to school.
I thought it was your turn.
No, it's my turn to watch the news.
Rain out of this. In fact, the boss here
This is the you missed the news.
I missed the news?
And the weather, and the traffic, and the...
Express mail from your post office has a whole fleet of 727.
We deliver, we deliver.
A guaranteed morning delivery.
We deliver, we deliver.
And an overnight price of just $8.75.
We deliver, we deliver.
Speed, convenience, price. It's a package only we can deliver. Express mail from your postal service.
We deliver for you.
Hi, can I help you?
Yeah, I'm looking for a Cherokee.
Right this way.
But this is an Isuzu Trooper.
It's a much better buy.
It is?
The Trooper has four-wheel disc brakes. Cherokee doesn't.
I didn't know that.
The Trooper has more cargo space.
Really?
And sells for about $1,000 less.
You're kidding.
Here, take a test drive.
Sure is lucky I ran into you.
Oh, I wouldn't call it luck.
Now, Isuzu's Sail into the 90s factory cash could save you up to $2,000 on a Trooper.
Again, this year, one airline is passing all the others. We have 185,000 more departures than Delta, 230,000 more departures than American, and we have 430,000 more departures than United. In fact, U.S. Air has more departures than any other airline in the free world. So if we sound like an airline that's really taking off, you don't know how right you are. U.S. Air, America's most frequent flyer.
House Party with Steve Ducey, weekday mornings at 10 on TV4.
Phantom of the Opera continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Cherry Polo, and Charles Dance.
It's Thursday evening in Ford County.
That Vortec V6 in the Chevy S10 Blazer is just the nicest engine.
Oh, my, yes. It has such quiet hydraulic valve lifters.
And 4.3 liters, the biggest engine in its class, you know?
I love the horses. That Chevy really holds.
Vortec V6 power. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks.
Nobody's a winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
We were asked to try Whiskas. And the very first time we tried it, Bo loved it. What a difference. He loves Whiskas any way he can get it.
Okay, it's coming.
And look at him eat. We've never seen him eat like this. What he was eating before was okay. What he's eating now is wonderful. We feed him the dry Whiskas in the morning before we go to work. We have found for him the food that he likes the best. And, you know, why mess with a good thing?
More and more cat owners tell us their cats prefer Whiskas.
Happy birthday, kiddo.
Wow, hot pink.
Tame pink.
Hot pink.
Sweet pink.
Ew, this pink isn't so hot anymore.
Good.
Dad! Gross, this dress will end my social life.
Remember, no dating while I'm alive.
Dad.
If your colors are fading, there's now a detergent that helps protect them. Introducing New Cheer with Color Guard. As time goes by, you can see the difference Color Guard makes.
Happy birthday.
Blue. Tom will love it.
Who's Tom? New Cheer with Color Guard. Dirt goes, color stays.
Looking for invigoration. Trying a real refreshing drink. Sweet and top. Ocean Spray Pink.
Refresh yourself with sweet, tart Ocean Spray Pink Grapefruit Juice Cocktail.
Ocean Spray Pink.
Tuesday, Julie's the target of a stalker out for revenge.
He's right behind me.
I need proof. And when Ben closes in, he's in danger too.
Now he's following both of us.
On an all-new Matlock. Then a baffling murder in Sparta.
Oh, Lord, help us.
May implicate Althea's best friend.
It's a mistake.
In the heat of the night, then Dirty Cops.
Goodbye, Jack.
Force a suicide, and the follow-up investigation could make Jack an enemy of his old partner.
Are you asking me if I'm dirty, Jack?
Midnight Caller after Matlock and Heat, Tuesday.
Teaching sure has changed since my grandma's days of tiny red schoolhouses. Even since my mother's time, those spelling bees, book reports, and multiplication tables. Now my friends and I are into computer science. But one part of teaching hasn't changed, never will, and that's the importance of teachers. The more you think about teachers, the more you know that they give us the most valuable gift there is, knowledge.
Saturday morning in Ford County.
I see you got a new Chevy. Yep. That's a pretty smart buy when you amortize the cost of depreciation as it relates to inflation in the GNP.
Yep.
In fact, when compared with Ford Ranger, Chevy S10 has held more of its value model years 1984 through 88.
Yep, and they say they've been worth more when you trade them in, too.
A tradition of higher resale value. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Yep.
The Type A personality vacation. The Type B personality vacation. The best vacations are this vacation, the Royal Caribbean vacation. Now the Fast Track has a pit stop. Royal Caribbean introduces 3- and 4-night Bahamas vacations.
When I was a boy, we only ate chicken on Sunday. Now people want to eat chicken every day. So Wendy's has a lot of different chicken sandwiches. Our whole breast chicken filet, our chicken club with bacon, and our chicken parmesan with rich tomato sauce and mozzarella. That's that Italian cheese. My daughter Wendy said, Dad, chickens are happening. Chickens are happening.
Kids, come into Wendy's. We've got the best chicken sandwiches in the business.
This morning, you can leave for work looking like you just stepped out of a salon. Select the personalized combination of shampoos and conditioners you need for salon's beautiful hair.
Ocean Spray, strawberry sweet, cranberry crisp. Ocean Spray, most refreshing.
Strawberry and cranberry. What a refreshing new idea.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
Friday, they had the perfect romance. But her desire ran out of control.
Promise me you'll never leave me.
Lonnie Anderson.
You think I don't see what's going on?
I feel like I'm standing in quicksand.
She won't just let you go.
Patrick Duffy and Doogie Howser's Neil Patrick Harris.
Help me! Help!
Discover a passion too good to be true, Friday.
In this place, this old city, Thomas Jefferson studied law. George Washington indeed slept here, often. Patrick Henry spoke words here that some, in his time, called treason.
Is it treason to oppose the hand of tyranny? Never!
This is 18th century Williamsburg, Virginia. Colonial Williamsburg. Not some dusty, echoing museum, but a city alive with people. Friendly, welcoming people. You can walk through this city. You can eat here. You can shop here. You can even sleep here. You can step back in time to the making of a revolution and a nation. Call 1-800-HISTORY and come to the beginning of America. Come to Colonial Williamsburg.
Good evening, I'm Casey Kaufman, and here's what's happening. Thieves posing as police stole several valuable artworks from Boston's Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. Their value exceeds $100 million. We'll have the latest. In East Germany, a coalition of conservative groups won today's historic election, possibly moving the Germanys closer together. In college hockey, Boston University advances, and Nancy has the forecast for tomorrow. Join us at 11.
She loves to keep changing her image. Meet one of the most unpredictable actresses of our time, Jamie Lee Curtis, on Monday's Evening Magazine at 7:30.
Inside Report, weekdays at 4 on TV4.
Phantom of the Opera continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Terry Polo, and Charles Dance.
is real?
Is she for real?
Is she for real?
Is that for real?
What? Well, what is real?
This is real.
Skittles.
New tart and tangy. New wild berry. New tropical. Real new. Real good. With real fruit juice.
Skittles. Bite-sized candy.
Rainbow.
It's hard to face the day, but he knows your favorite way. Folgers starting to brew, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Mornings are brighter with mountain-grown Folgers decaffeinated. Mountain-grown beans have a more enticing aroma and richer flavor.
That rich aromatic brew that's decaffeinated too.
You're finally waking up.
And it's decaffeinated?
The best part of waking up, your wife, is Folgers in your cup.
For 10 points, what are you eating?
Kraft macaroni and cheese.
It's Kraft cheese and macaroni. Hey, sorry. Judges' decisions are final.
Kraft cheese and macaroni, the cheesiest.
Action!
Making movies and money in the new Hollywood.
Money.
10 million.
Big stake. $80 million.
Wednesday.
Next Sunday, NBC presents a world premiere motion picture event. A tale of romantic obsession and of an incredible journey.
I'm being pulled by a fish.
Anthony Quinn and his real-life children, along with Midnight Caller's Gary Cole, star in the Ernest Hemingway bestseller, The Old Man and the Sea. Next Sunday.
Stay tuned for scenes from tomorrow night's dramatic conclusion of The Phantom of the Opera.
Ah, high nutrition cereals. Totally nutritious and usually totally dull. Unless it's Kellogg's Just Right. 100% nutrition with whole grain oats plus 3 other grains instead of just one. Just Right. 100% nutrition with raisins, almonds, dates. If your high nutrition cereal leaves you totally flat, just taste Just Right. 100% nutritious, 100% delicious.
Listen up. McDonald's Prize Surprise is so easy to play, a rutabaga could figure it out. Buy a large or a medium fries or a hash brown, then peel off the sticker. You win every time. Like a Big Mac for 69 cents. $10,000 or fly anywhere in the world Delta Airlines goes. Ooh, if that's not terrific, I'm not a member of the Tuber family. So play McDonald's Prize Surprise today. It's the game with appeal. Appeal? I love potato humor.
Soft and dry sports style formula.
Going for the big prize. Let the games begin. The one who stays the coolest is the one who's gonna win. So if you want to stay cool, soft and dry.
Soft and dry sports style formula helps an active woman stay cool, soft and dry.
Very soon, the time will come for the next generation of America's best-selling full-size car, the 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
Days like this when I just want to cut all my hair off.
Oh, come on.
Your hair always looks good. I mean, really good. What do you use on it?
You mean shampoo?
Yeah.
Suave?
With all the expensive shampoos, you like Suave best? I really do.
Tomorrow night.
Please, where are you taking me?
That masked fiend has kidnapped her.
Will the Phantom get away with his desperate plan?
What do you mean? For God's sake, help us. They will not let you get away with this.
They may have no choice.
Or will his outrage lead to his ultimate capture?
Let me know your face.
You are making a horrible mistake.
No one who sees my face is allowed to leave here.
I am going down there after him.
How could I have done this to him?
It's the thrilling conclusion of The Phantom of the Opera tomorrow.
Friday, they have the perfect romance.
Just us.
but her desire ran out of control.
Promise me you'll never leave me.
Lonnie Anderson.
You think I don't see what's going on?
I feel like I'm standing in quicksand.
She won't just let you go.
Patrick Duffy and Doogie Howser's Neil Patrick Harris.
Help me! Help!
Discover a passion too good to be true, Friday.
Tonight on Eyewitness News Nightcast.
While money could never replace the art treasures stolen from the Gardner Museum, insurance agents will not have to try. Tonight, we'll tell you why the objects were not insured for theft. Also, the story of a Boston police officer who was fired upon while trying to stop a shootout in Dorchester. I'm David Whitman. Join us for all the news, plus Bob will take you to spring training, all at 11.
Feud fever reaches epidemic proportions. Does your family exhibit these symptoms? Feud fever. Watch it. It's contagious. Family Feud, weekdays at 4:30 on...
Bold. Delicious. Icy cold. It's the real thing. And there's never been anything like it until now. Introducing caffeine-free Coca-Cola Classic with the real cola taste you expect. It is the real thing, only caffeine-free. Coca-Cola Classic and now caffeine-free Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.
This is what American Airlines does better than anyone else. Arrive on time. Again and again. In fact, American has had the best on-time arrival record of the 7 largest domestic airlines for as long as records have been kept. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
The Gurus of Gossip dish the dirt with Joan, Thursday at 9 on TV4. Phantom of the Opera is sponsored in part by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Coming this Saturday only for a limited engagement, a preview of Easter, Hallmark's Easter Open House, with a star-studded cast. I love the characters. Featuring the Crayola Bunny in his most touching role. You'll laugh, you'll be amazed, you'll even get a chance to win this giant Easter basket.
It was really, really big.
And most of all, you'll be glad you came.
Oh, I can't wait for the sequel.
The Hallmark Easter Open House, a one-day sneak preview you won't want to miss.
Hallmark has a way.
Yeah, I haven't eaten.
Guys, we've just got to eat better at breakfast. And, well, I've decided we're going to start with some health food. I know this won't be popular.
Toast, raisin bran, I love... Mom, if you insist, I'll eat the health food. No, make me.
With wheat bran for health and 2 scoops of raisins so no one has to know it.
No, I'm the oldest. Make me.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran is health food the family will actually eat.
You've all taken this very well.
I wish the person who put those tires on the playground had to wash my kids' clothes. My tomboy. So much dirt and tire smut. Ugh. I gave up. I first tried Tide with bleach 4 weeks ago.
If you're a Tide with bleach mom, your colors are bright. And those whites. Take a dirty sock. Gets only this white with other detergents, but Tide with bleach gets it gleaming white.
It brings back the brightness and newness. Thanks. Marlene Burgett.
If you're a Tide with bleach mom, you've got more than whitening power. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide.
You know what I mean? You got to fix this, and you got to paint the fence, and you got to clean the yard, trim this.
Trim.
I got 100 things I have to do. At least. And I don't know how to do any of this stuff.
Well, you came to the right place.
Hey, Ace is the place for me.
Listen. Seems like only yesterday you were single, sweating through your engineering finals and driving hot cars. Today you got a new baby, a new home, your first real job, and you're driving a Chevy Corsica. Just because you got a family doesn't mean you got to settle down.
The heartbeat of America.
The cars more Americans depend on.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Isn't it time you got your health on the right course? Now you can cut back on cholesterol. Cut back on sodium. Cut back on fat. And still love food like this. Because now there's new Right Course from Stouffer's. 11 delicious entrees that let you cut back on cholesterol, sodium, and fat without having to cut back on taste. So get your health started on the right course. New Right Course from Stouffer's.
I didn't have one big dream as a kid, like wanting to be an astronaut. I was a tap dancer. I've always had those little goals that I've worked towards.
They add up.
She's got a leg, sheer elegant leg.
Some women live in sheer elegance. The pantyhose that looks and feels like real silk from the Orient.
She's got a leg.
Very soon, the time will come for the next generation of America's best-selling full-size car, the 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
We've got great guests, great topics, a great host.
Marsha, Bobasha, Banana, Fana, Bobasha, B5, Mo Marsha.
Remember the name. She has her own talk show.
Oh, shut up!
Marsha!
You'll get to think and laugh at the same time with the Marsha Warfield Show, starting Monday morning, March 26th.
I know it's early, but I think we better push the meeting up an hour. Well, I guess you haven't seen the news.
When are you going to the bank?
Maybe on my way to work, maybe on the way home. Depends on the traffic.
Good morning, is Look at the now.
Better hurry. It's your turn to take Janie to school.
It was your turn.
No, it's my turn to watch the news.
Rain out of this. In fact, the Boston This is the
You missed the news.
I missed the news?
And the weather, and the traffic, and the...
Hi, I'm Joe Garagiola with Yogi Berra.
Doing color.
At Toyota's Big League Sales event. Crawford's looking to steal right here.
That Corolla's a cool ice blue.
She's in position to score up to $931 in option packages and big incentives, too.
Boy, that's a lot of green.
There she goes, Yogi.
I want the Corolla.
She steals it.
I'm pink with excitement.
Hey, Yogi, you're pretty good doing color.
Yeah, Joe, you could observe a lot by watching.
Good choice. Great car.
Steal a great deal at Toyota's Big League Sales event.
It's the only game in town.
Valerie Bertinelli's return to TV, Tuesday at 7:30.
Phantom of the Opera continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Terry Polo, and Charles Dance.
It's Thursday evening in Ford County.
That Vortec V6 in the Chevy S10 Blazer is just the nicest engine.
Oh, my, yes. It has such quiet hydraulic valve lifters.
And 4.3 liters, the biggest engine in its class, you know?
I love the horses. That Chevy really holds.
Vortec V6 power. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks.
Nobody's a winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today's truck is Chevrolet.
First, there was Contact. Then there was 2 Sudafed. Today, there's Coadvil. Coadvil has what no other cold product has. The pain reliever in Advil plus a proven decongestant. A combination never available before in just one tablet. So when you have nasal congestion, sinus pressure, and aches, pains, sore throat, even fever, Coadvil gives you relief without drowsiness. Read label before using. New Coadvil. Advanced formula for cold and sinus relief.
Education takes a great teacher, a nice school, and more. It takes a computer to punch, a rainbow of paints, a world of books, which all takes... That's why Jif is building the Children's Education Fund. From now through April 30th, every time you choose Jif, Jeff will make a donation to America's schools. The goal is to raise $4 million or more. So choose to help America's kids. Choose Jeff.
Listen to this. It's the sound of no grease on plastic. You want it? Use Dawn. Dawn is so tough, it pulls grease even off plastic. Sounds great, right?
Dawn takes grease out of your way, even on plastic.
Very soon, the time will come for the next generation of America's best-selling full-size car, the 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
Thursday on All New Cosby. When Mom's had all she can take, the family sends her on a dream vacation. On a different world, how far will Whitley go to get help with her homework?
That's disgusting.
On Cheers, how does Sam spell relief?
Twins ahoy.
Then it's a lucrative new Grand.
How much would you sell your wife for?
You'll be surprised.
Tonight on Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Should the media have the right to tell you about the past criminal record of a suspect on trial? Tonight, Dan Ray looks at a controversial law on the Bay State books. Also, Joyce Colhayrick introduces you to Chris Donnelly, a Boston College student who stars in the Hollywood movie Men Don't Leave. I'm Liz Walker. Join us for all the news. First, Bob takes you to spring training at 11.
Why is Wonder Light America's favorite light bread?
Wonder Light has less calories. Wonder Light has more fiber. Less calories. More fiber.
That's right. Wonder Light has only 40 calories a slice and has always had more fiber than even ordinary whole wheat bread. But ladies, come on. Why do you really love Wonder Light?
It tastes great. And it has less calories.
More fiber. Less calories. More fiber. Less calories.
More fiber?
Again, this year, one airline is passing all the others. We have 185,000 more departures than Delta, 230,000 more departures than American, and we have 430,000 more departures than United. In fact, U.S. Air has more departures than any other airline in the free world. So if we sound like an airline that's really taking off, you don't know how right you are. U.S. Air, America's most frequent flyer.
Nothing's too good for my baby. Nothing. So my baby gets very special treatment.
There's a gasoline so special, it even exceeds BMW's detergency standard.
Fill it up. Ultra.
Sunoco Ultra 94. Clean power from the highest octane under the sun. Nothing else can match it.
Nothing.
House Party with Steve Ducey, weekday mornings at 10 on TV4.
It continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Cherry Polo, and Charles Dance.
You've got a style that's unmistakably you. It's in your work, it's in the way you dress, it's even in the car you drive, your Chevy Beretta. You know a great look when you see it. And it doesn't have to be expensive to be beautiful.
The heartbeat of America.
Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Today, Chevrolet.
All right, let's see it. Yeah, Dave. Okay, ready?
Get into a new thing. Highway. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Thanks for right thing. Come on and do some highway.
Looks great, Dave. When's she gonna let you drive it?
Fried chicken. Spicy, zesty hot wings. New from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Phil and Laura Gordon, married, one child.
Frosted Flakes, Dad?
No, that's a kid's cereal, honey.
Yeah. How about some All-Brand?
Publicly, they claim Kellogg's Frosted Flakes is just a kid's cereal, but these films tell a different story. Experts believe they loved those sweet, crunchy flakes as kids and just never got over them.
I forgot my lunch. What's going on? Nothing. Here, we're fine.
Really? It's okay.
Oh, my gosh.
It's okay.
Why hide it? Frosted Flakes have the taste adults have grown to love. They're great.
If you had sensitive skin like I do,
Which moisturizer would you choose? One for sensitive skin, or one created for sensitive skin by the people whose skincare treatment has kept more faces looking younger, smoother, sexier than any other in the world? I know which one I'd choose.
Color-free, fragrance-free, oil of Olay for sensitive skin.
Grow old gracefully? Are you kidding?
Tuesday, Julie's the target of a stalker out for revenge.
He's right behind me.
I need proof. And when Ben closes in, he's in danger too.
Now he's following both of us.
On an all-new Matlock. Then a baffling murder in Sparta.
Oh, Lord, help us.
May implicate Althea's best friend.
It's a mistake.
In the heat of the night, then Dirty Cops.
Goodbye, Jack.
Force a suicide, and the follow-up investigation could make Jack an enemy of his old partner.
Are you asking me if I'm dirty, Jack?
Midnight Caller after Matlock and Heat, Tuesday.
If you've been out of school for 10, 20, or even 50 years, it's time you went back. Not as a student, but as a volunteer. Your knowledge, your concern, your love might make the difference between a youngster going wrong or going on to a successful and productive life. The more you know, the more your schools need you. So find out what you can do, and then do it.
Saturday morning in Ford County.
I see you got a new Chevy. Yep. That's a pretty smart buy when you amortize the cost of depreciation as it relates to inflation in the GNP. Yep. In fact, when compared with Ford Ranger, Chevy S10 has held more of its value model years 1984 through 88.
Yep, and they say they've been worth more when you trade them in, too.
A tradition of higher resale value. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
Yep.
Ocean spray, cranberry cool, cranberry crisp. Ocean spray, most refreshing.
The crisp taste of cranberry. Now, wouldn't that be a refreshing change?
Woo! Cranberry cool, cranberry crisp. Ocean spray, most refreshing. What can they leave it?
Ocean Spray cranberry drinks. They're music to your mouth.
Chocolate is crunches, when it's crunches. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. That's why I love Nestle Crunch. Crunch us.
My headaches are full-grown, adult-sized bangaroos. So I bang them back with Bear. It's strong. It's not an aspirin substitute. It's made for adults. Just like you and me.
For adult-sized pain, Bayer, the wonder drug that works wonders.
Do you like chicken? Like Wendy's whole breast of chicken filet sandwich, our chicken club with bacon, and chicken parmesan with mozzarella and tomato sauce. You do? Then come to Wendy's for the best chicken sandwiches in the business.
Phantom of the Opera will return following these messages.
Today's off to L.A.
Behind the scenes at the Oscars, the glitter of Rodeo Drive, the breathtaking homes, the beautiful people.
That's Today in L.A. Begins Wednesday.
NBC has a new talk show with great guests, great topics, great viewers, and a great host. Me. Catch the Marsha Warfield Show. Great title.
I have come and gone again and again.
I have ties to many people and memories. I remember when I saw my first American city.
And the last time I saw my country.
I miss my family, my friends.
So I call again and again.
Introducing AT&T Reach Out World. The only way to get so much of the world while lowering your international phone bill by 20%. Now it's easy to say hello again and again for less.
Express mail from your post office offers you 46,000 drop-off points.
We deliver, we deliver.
A guaranteed morning delivery.
We deliver, we deliver.
And
an overnight price of just $8.75. Speed, convenience, price. It's a package only we can deliver. Express mail from your postal service.
We deliver for you.
Tonight on Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Why weren't the art treasures stolen from Boston's Gardner Museum insured against theft? We'll have an update tonight. Also, spring may officially begin tomorrow, but Bruce says it looks more like winter in some parts of New England. We'll tell you why. I'm Liz Walker. Join us for all the news, plus Joyce talks to the local star of the Hollywood film Men Don't Leave on Nightcast at 11.
Is this me touching you, or are you touching me?
I don't know where I end and you begin. Hold me.
Eternity.
Calvin
Klein.
At Filene's.
Inside Report, weekdays at 4 on TV4.
Phantom of the Opera continues, starring Burt Lancaster, Terry Polo, and Charles Dance.
Some people think only foreign companies build quality cars. Now, according to an independent survey, an American car company offers you a choice of some of the most trouble-free cars you can own. That American car company is Buick. And the 1990 versions of those American cars are Buick LeSabre, Buick Riviera, and Buick Electra Park Avenue. We believe there's a new symbol for quality on the great American road.
Hoyt Axton, how's it going?
Oh, not so good, Merle. I can't seem to sing sad songs no more.
Oh, why not?
Well, some adoring fans sent me this bouquet.
It's an FTD pick-me-up.
And I can't sing sad songs when I'm feeling so good. When's this feeling go away anyhow?
My friend, the feeling never ends.
Oh, what'll I do now?
Try singing happy songs.
There's an idea.
If you know someone singing a sad tune, send an FTD pick-me-up.
Please don't let this feeling win.
Feeling good about yourself, feeling carefree. Get full flavor, feeling carefree. Get full flavor, get it all, feeling carefree.
Spearmint and peppermint carefree gum, now with NutraSweet.
Chips Ahoy selections are so delicious.
Sally, hide these before I eat them all.
You may not trust yourself around them. An irresistible variety of chocolate chip cookies from Chips Ahoy selections. Dangerously delicious.
Barbara, save me.
It's a laugh, it's a cry. It's the start of a new romance. It's a memory, it's a daybreak. All the moments that you want to celebrate.
Celebrate with naturally decaffeinated Swiss mocha from General Foods International Coffees. Decaffeinated so you can celebrate anytime.
She's a crafty granny who stole millions from investors.
She was so smooth.
On Unsolved Mysteries. Then it's a special 1-hour night course. I like it. It's twice as long.
It's my behind. It's spreading, isn't it?
And twice as funny. Then meet the men who make the millions.
Money.
10 million.
Big stakes. They want to make $60, $70, $80 million.
The new Hollywood Wednesday. Saturday, Robert Mitchum in his first TV series ever.
I'm perfect for this job.
The hit movie comedy is now a weekly series. The Family for Joe, Saturday.
Doc, we can't always see the benefits of space research.
But we can feel them, Ray.
Like this portable reading aid, which has a tiny camera a blind person can pass over printed words.
Circuitry designed for the space program then converts what the camera sees into vibrations a blind person can read.
Books, letters, newspapers.
Even music scores from Tchaikovsky
to Charles. Ah, space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
High nutrition cereals. Totally nutritious and usually totally dull. Unless it's Kellogg's Just Right. 100% nutrition with whole grain oats plus 3 other grains instead of just one. Just Right. 100% nutrition with raisins, almonds, dates. If your high nutrition cereal leaves you totally flat, just taste Just Right. 100% nutritious, 100% delicious.
Don't forget your cereal, Big Bird.
Don't you forget your vitamins.
Big Bird.
My kids like Sesame Street vitamins because of the shapes and natural fruit flavors, and they're age formulated. So both my kids get 100% every day. I like that.
I have pressure and pain in my sinuses. I want my Cyanide now.
Introducing a new Cyanide with 53% more sinus pain medicine.
It's new Cyanide. No wonder it works so well.
New maximum strength Cyanide tablets. Stronger than ever for better than ever relief. Did you hear the one about the 4 lumberjacks who fit in a Dodge Dakota pickup? Or are we stretching our credibility? The new Dakota SE Club Cab, now available in your neck of the woods.
Action! Going again, stand by. Roll down.
Money. 10 million. Big stakes. They want to make 60, 70, 80 million dollars.
You got to do our movie.
There's money to be made here.
Good for you guys?
The town is not fair.
Okay.
The stars, the deals, the behind-the-scenes secrets, making movies and money in the new Hollywood. Wednesday night on NBC.
Cut it.
Friday, they had the perfect romance. But her desire ran out of control.
Promise me you'll never leave me.
Lonnie Anderson.
You think I don't see what's going on?
I feel like I'm standing in quicksand.
She won't just let you go.
Patrick Duffy and Doogie Howser's Neil Patrick Harris.
Help me! Help!
Discover a passion too good to be true, Friday.
Hi, I'm Joe Garagiola with Johnny Bench, here with loads of action at Toyota's Big League Sales event. Customers checking the sign. Here's a pitch.
How's this price on the Camry?
He's shaking them off, John.
The manager's hanging out a new sign. There's a lot riding on this. Incentives up to $1,000 up to $705 in option packages.
The next pitch? It's low. Luciano calls it. What a deal. What a catch. Score big league savings at your Toyota dealer today.
It's the only game in town.
If you love to surround yourself in beauty, you belong in the world of Estee Lauder. Visit your Estee Lauder beauty advisor, and with your choice of $12.50 or more, we'll treat you to this gift, including luscious cream mascara and a lipstick. Estee Lauder. Live in our world. This gift is yours through March 31st at all Jordan Marsh stores.
Cheryl Teagues for Light and Lively Free.
I've been a model for over 20 years, which means I always have to watch what I eat. So, of course, I eat a lot of yogurt. Now I've found a better yogurt, Light and Lively Free 6-pack. It's fat-free, cholesterol-free, and only 50 calories per serving. And on top of all that, it tastes great. For me, it's a model yogurt. Look for the entire family of Light and Lively products.
Valerie Bertinelli's return to TV, Tuesday at 7:30.
Coming up on Eyewitness News Nightcast, the shocking heist of a priceless artwork from the Gardner Museum takes on a graver dimension tonight. It's revealed that none of the stolen pieces were insured. Should the state repeal the Corey law? Some say it would keep gang members in jail. Others argue it's a violation of privacy. But first, a busy night for Boston police as 3 separate shootings leave 6 people injured. In one incident, a uniformed officer becomes a target. We'll have late details next on Nightcast.
Live from WBZ-TV 4, this is Eyewitness News Nightcast.
Good evening. Jack Williams is on vacation. David Whitman joins me. Here's what's happening. City officials say they are more determined than ever tonight to get violent gang members off the streets of Boston. That following an incident in which a shot was fired at a uniformed police officer.
Police say the officer was trying to stop a gunfight between two men who were firing at each other as they ran down Blue Hill Avenue.
Eyewitness News reporter Casey Kaufman tells us this was one of several shootings in Boston tonight.
Boston Mayor Ray Flynn and the city's top police officials huddled on the corner of Blue Hill Avenue and Talbot Avenue in Roxbury around 5 this evening, just moments after a Boston police officer exchanged gunfire with a 17-year-old boy.
He saw one man chasing another man across Blue Hill Avenue into the Franklin Field Park. The officer got out of his car, identified himself as a police officer. As I said before, he was in full uniform. The man turned, looked at the officer, and continued to fire at the person he was firing at. He then turned again towards the officer and fired around at the officer. The officer returned the fire and, without hitting the man, did place him under arrest.
The point is, when a person sees a police officer in uniform, God forbid we're trying to protect the public, when they totally ignore a uniform and start firing, there's something wrong here.
Ironically, at the same time, just across the street, Detective Raymond Mosier witnessed yet another unrelated shooting, which left 18-year-old Trek Culbreth shot in the chest. While friends of the victim gathered at Boston City Hospital, waiting for word, Mayor Flynn called Culbreth a statistic in the city's gang war.
People are terrorized. The gang here at Franklin Hill and the gang over here at Franklin Fields. And they're hoodlums, they're criminals, and they're intimidating good, decent, law-abiding people.
Officials maintain they are fighting the city's crime wave aggressively. They've compiled a list of 102 suspected gang members, but they're not saying whether 17-year-old Curtis Giles of Dorchester, arrested tonight after the shootout with Boston Police Detective Mosier, is on that list. They did say, however, that Giles is well known to police with a number of prior arrests. Liz?
Casey, thank you. And in another separate shooting incident, 4 people were injured tonight on Kerr Way near the Ruggles Street station in Roxbury. Police say a woman and 3 men were sitting in a car when a man armed with a shotgun approached that vehicle and opened fire. Tonight, all 4 are listed in stable condition. And Boston police are also investigating a shooting incident at the Fifield Elementary School this afternoon. One shot was fired through a window and fell to the floor of a classroom. The other went through a steel door. No one, luckily, was struck by the bullets. The students were dismissed after police searched the area. Police will be back at that school as those students arrive tomorrow. David.
Boston's wave of violence, coupled with confusion in the court system, will renew a debate over the privacy rights of defendants and convicted felons. Eyewitness Newsman Dan Ray reports on a little-known Massachusetts law which shields criminal and court records from public view.
We can't give you the fact that that person or anyone else has a long, extensive involvement with the law regarding violent crimes.
There is a law in Massachusetts that prevents public officials from disclosing prior criminal records of any individual. So while Boston Mayor Ray Flynn can announce a sweep for more than 100 suspects with criminal warrants, no one can detail what crimes those individuals have committed.
Corey is a privacy act for felons.
It is the so-called Corey Law, the Criminal Offender Record Information Statute of 1972, that Bill Plant of the Massachusetts Newspaper Publishers Association has fought to overturn for years.
Let me put it this way. You have less control over your credit rating than a felon has over his criminal history.
But Ernest Windsor of the Massachusetts Law Reform Institute says Corey is essential.
One is sort of the basic privacy interest of being able to conceal after a period of time embarrassing facts about yourself that you don't want the world to know. And then there's the much more specific privacy interest in the criminal justice area, which is to make rehabilitation have a chance of working.
Currently, Corey protects defendants from arrest through incarceration. The Lawrence Eagle Tribune won a Pulitzer trying to raise the Corey curtain that protected Willie Horton's furlough record. Even the Dukakis administration now wants to open the Corey curtain. Some change seems certain.
What Horton really did was to open the doors and windows on the nature of the Criminal Offender Records Information Act in Massachusetts.
There are other kinds of basic human needs which shouldn't be denied people because they screwed up in the past, they did wrong, they were punished for it.
Legislation to reform Corey passed both the House and Senate last session, but the bill died before final passage. A bill to reform Corey has again been filed in 1990, and some reform is expected to go to the governor's desk this year. David?
All right, Dan, thank you. The enormity of the theft is still sinking in tonight. 12 nearly priceless works of art stolen from the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston over the weekend. It could be the biggest heist in modern history. Some experts value the stolen pieces at more than $200 million. Among the missing works, paintings and etchings by Rembrandt, Degas, and a rare Vermeer. Two men dressed as policemen got past the museum's elaborate security system early Sunday morning.
You know, at this point in time, I can't say that this is going to be solved quickly. I can't say that it's going to take a long time. We're still in the very early stages.
The thieves spent 2 hours inside. They stole from 3 specific rooms, taking certain paintings, but passing up dozens of equally valuable works. That led to speculations the thieves were working for a black market collector.
They were taken so well known that it would be impossible to move them in the legitimate market. So they'd have to be somehow dealt with in the black market or as a ransom type situation.
But the terms of eccentric Mrs. Gardner's will prohibit the museum from paying ransom for the paintings or even replacing them with other works. And for that reason, the artwork was insured against damage, but not against theft. Liz?
In the Soviet Union, Moscow is tightening its grip on Lithuania tonight to keep the republic from seceding. Moscow has taken direct control of communications and factories in Lithuania, and Lithuanian officials are reporting unusual Soviet troop movements in the republic, though the Soviet Union is denying those reports. Meanwhile, Lithuania is standing firm on its declaration of independence, and the independence movement has begun signing up volunteers for a citizens' army.
Still to come on tonight's Nightcast, the judge in the John Poindexter trial says no to motions for a mistrial.
The Bay State's financial woes deepen as the bond rating becomes the lowest in the nation. And later in sports, the Indianapolis Colts running back Eric Dickerson announces he's quitting football. Bob will have the details. Stay tuned.
This is what American Airlines does better than anyone else. Arrive on time. Again and again. In fact, American has had the best on-time arrival record of the 7 largest domestic airlines for as long as records have been kept. American Airlines, the on-time machine.
Graham Marshall was having a bad day, a bad job,
There is a man in my office.
a bad marriage.
I forgive you for failing.
Now he just killed to have a good time.
Yay!
What a shock. Michael Caine, a shock to the system.
We mustn't let a little thing like this ruin our evening.
Rated R. Starts Friday, March 23rd at theaters everywhere.
All right, show us what you got. Step in there now. Let's go. Knock it out.
Get into a new thing. Highway. Kentucky Fried Chicken. Fight the right thing. Come on and do some highway. Get into a new thing.
10 for 10. You finally found a speed you could handle.
Highway. Fried Chicken.
Spicy, zesty hot wings. New from Kentucky Fried Chicken.
It rolls.
Runs.
Floats. Flies.
Walks. Or crawls.
Flexible funding from the CIT group can get it moving.
With no solution in sight to the state's fiscal problems, Massachusetts now has a dubious distinction of having the lowest bond rating in the nation. Today, Moody's Investor Service, a Wall Street rating agency, dropped the state's bond rating from Baa1 to BAA. The state treasurer says the state's low credit rating overall will cost an estimated $100 million more a year in higher interest rates. The governor hopes the grim news will light a fire under legislators for more cuts and more taxes.
Raise additional revenue. I think people know it, and I hope it's a reminder and a good, strong message to the legislature.
Still, the House is not expected to take up any tax package until May. In Worcester, word that the British are coming is sparking a revolt reminiscent of colonial days. BTR, a British industrial giant, wants to take over the Norton Company, a Worcester-based manufacturer. Chair and corporate raider John Cahill is offering $1.6 billion. But today, several thousand Norton employees and their supporters rallied in protest. They believe a takeover by BTR would spell the beginning of the end for Norton and their jobs. Cahill insists he would not close the plant. Meanwhile, the Norton Company is planning a counterattack to fight the British takeover. David?
About 1,000 police officers from Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and Rhode Island gathered in Lawrence today for the funeral of police officer Thomas Duggan. The 47-year-old Lawrence patrolman died of head injuries on Friday. Police say he was attacked Wednesday by a man with a baseball bat after a traffic dispute while Duggan was off duty. Charged in connection with Duggan's death is 22-year-old William Rodriguez. Attorneys for John Poindexter tried again today to have his case dismissed, but once again a federal judge denied the request. Poindexter's lawyers wanted a mistrial declared after a prosecutor made reference to testimony Poindexter gave Congress on the Iran-Contra scandal under the grant of immunity. It happened while the prosecutor was questioning Congressman Lee Hamilton. Judge Harold Green denied the request, though, saying the question was harmless beyond a reasonable doubt. Wish we could say the same about the first day of spring, but I don't think we can.
No, I think it's going to be a little cold, rain, snow. Bruce will fill us in on all the weather details. He's next.
Just now, the last thing on Tom's or Becky's mind is the Honeywell control technology operating this elevator. But if they were thinking about that, we wouldn't be doing our job. Honeywell, helping you control your world.
It is said, in the course of a lifetime, you'll make only one or two true friends. We know where you just might find a third. Ireland, the ancient birthplace of good times. Call 1-800-SHAMROCK.
Motor Trend's Car of the Year award hasn't been won by an American luxury sedan in 38 years. Until now. Until the 1990 Lincoln Town Car, with more room than any car in its class. A 5-liter V8 engine, supplemental airbag restraint system, available anti-lock brakes, and a combination of technological features most luxury cars can't match. Motor Trend's Car of the Year for 1990, the Lincoln Town Car. Now more than ever, what a luxury car should be. Enough said.
Just now, the last thing dancing through Harold and Mary's mind is the Honeywell security system protecting their home. Then if they were thinking about that, we wouldn't be doing our job. Honeywell, helping you control your world.
There's something missing in your margarine. Taste, flavor, richness. Land O'Lakes has found what you've been missing. The taste of sweet cream. In Land O'Lakes spread with sweet cream. Just enough sweet cream to make it sweet. Creamy. Buttery. Yet each serving is cholesterol-free. Land O'Lakes spread with sweet cream. The taste you've been missing.
Check your calendar. Tomorrow we get to celebrate the first day of spring in typical New England fashion.
At 4:19 p.m., I'll be dancing around in my white bucks because I'm doing my Pat Boone impression as well. When the Swallows come back to Capistrano, yeah, springtime is starting for a lot of folks, David. Hi, everybody. We do have springtime out in the far west to the mission of San Juan Capistrano. The Swallows returning there as everybody gathered to sing a serenade. Look at those clouds of swallows. Or are they? There's a swallow. But the rest of them weren't. Pigeons returned to Capistrano today. A pigeon problem out there in California as they welcome the return of springtime. And here in the Northeast, we're going to be welcoming spring back with something else, and that is snow. Now, this is all rain, lifting northward. In fact, there have been some thunderstorms down over Long Island and on through Block Island Sound. To the west, more rain is falling, and it's all lifting off to the northeast. But it's what's going on aloft that concerns us, because right now it's warm enough aloft and it's all raining. It's not really much of a problem. We have some heavy rain running from about B for Brockton here down through Narragansett Bay, westward to about Westerly, Rhode Island, up through about Providence. We're flashing the moderate to heavy rain. A few shots of moderate rain shower activity in the Boston area. Otherwise, the light blue is light rain. But look at these clouds dipping down. There's a pool of cool air in the eastern Great Lakes. that's whipping around and coming back up through central and western New York State. Now, that's just on the back side of this frontal system. This low is going to move to the south coast and intensify as it moves eastward and beyond us. That means some of the cooler air will start to work into the system, and especially at the higher elevations above 1,500 feet, I'm looking for a pretty good snowstorm out of this, on the order of 5 to 10 inches of snow. That, of course, would include the Berkshires, the Monadnock region, up through the White Mountains and many of the Green Mountains. And even in the hills of Worcester at about 1,000 feet, at least several inches are likely by tomorrow night. So it's going to be changing over to a rain situation out in our western areas during tomorrow and moving closer and closer to Boston. It should end as snow even here in Boston on early Wednesday morning. It's 42 now with an east-southeasterly wind. It's in the 30s and 40s over the Cape and the islands westward to New York City and Poughkeepsie. Northward temperatures are in the 30s, and we generally have rainfall except snowing now atop Mount Washington. Showers and cool, the forecast for tonight. Perhaps a thunderstorm in southeastern New England, 40 for a low southeasterly winds of moderate speeds. Tomorrow, the winds increase out of the east, rain and fog all day. Some of that rain could be heavy. Cool temperatures only in the lower 40s, marginal VFR, and a high tide in the early morning. And for tomorrow night, we'll have a mixture of rain and snow here, but even in the hills, it'll be turning to snow. The temperatures will hold in the mid-30s with an increasing northeasterly wind. And for Wednesday, it'll end as snow here in the Boston area. And in the afternoon, the sun will come out and the temperatures will move to the mid-40s. But the heaviest snow will, again, be above elevations of 1,500 feet, in particular the hills of Worcester, the Monadnock region, westward out to the New York border, and northward to many of the ski areas. Need it badly, and they're going to get it.
Spring skiing.
Lots of spring skiing.
Thank you, Bruce.
And sports spring training is about to begin, or has it already started?
Tomorrow it officially begins. Better late than never. They're going to open the season 3 weeks from now. April 9th is the opener for the Red Sox. Red Sox pitching coach Bill Fisher says that the pitchers, his guys, have been working out undercover. I'm just kidding about that, but they're all happy to be going.
Sports is next with Scott in for Bob. Stay with us.
We've watched her grow up on television. Now, at 30, can Valerie Bertinelli finally make the jump to mature actress? We'll talk to her about her return to TV in the new series, Sydney. Then, why is this small college town in Vermont the center of controversy? See how the outcome of a dispute at Middlebury College may affect colleges across the nation. And she's been living in a monastery since her exile. Can this former Romanian princess now return to royal life? That's on Tuesday's Evening Magazine, 7:30, TV4.
Mr. Ian Mackenzie. I'm Angus Mackenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today, with service to 175 countries,
Oh, you've been wanting me and Alistair Mackenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people,
Also for Mackenzie.
including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair Mackenzie. No trouble finding me, did you, lad?
No trouble at all. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
I was looking for something a little bigger. I'll take it.
When the moment comes to start life on your own, there's no better card than MasterCard.
It's just the bare necessity.
With payment flexibility and unsurpassed acceptance, so you can buy what you want.
What is this?
Where you want. For the way we really live.
So what do you think of my place?
It's definitely you.
MasterCard. Master the moment.
A short course in alpine skiing. Test drive the all-wheel drive BMW 325 iX at your New England BMW dealer. Car and Driver said, we hereby nominate the BMW 325 IS for permanent status in the Car Enthusiasts Hall of Fame. We just nominated for a test drive.
Buying 35mm film is never easy.
I'm confused.
It's all very simple.
There's 100.
For inside and out.
Unless it's too dark or too bright.
And then change to 400.
Or you could push it to 800.
If you don't mind the gray.
But it is faster.
Depending on the conditions.
Well, then you'd use 1,000.
Of course.
Change to 400?
Introducing 35mm Polaroid One Film. With one film, you can get beautiful pictures in bright light, low light, inside and out. New 35mm One Film. For beautiful pictures, the choice is easy.
We'll be hearing from Bob LaBelle, who's at spring training, which is now official. It worked.
That's right. Bob was in constant communication with our office from some of Florida's finest golf courses, just waiting for word to break. When it did, he was there. Even as we speak, maintenance men are no doubt trying to unlock those rusty gates. The owner's lockout lasted 32 days, but the agreement reached late last night has finally set the wheels in motion for baseball 1990. A major issue of arbitration, the deal is to allow 17% of the players with between 2 and 3 years of experience to be eligible for arbitration. The Red Sox open their gates tomorrow, and with opening day now scheduled for April 9th, the Sox will have the honor of throwing out the first pitch of the Major League season in their opener with the Tigers. Bob Lobel is in Florida. He reports tonight from Winter Haven.
Spring is officially here tomorrow. Spring training officially opened today. 3 weeks of it anyway. The question is it going to be enough?
It's going to be enough for the everyday players. The pitchers, you know, it definitely won't be enough, but they'll probably just have to use the bullpen a lot more the first 3 or 4 weeks of the season.
So right now I think we're going to take the 3 weeks and use it as fine-tuning and get ready for the season.
This lockout was no bed of roses for the Red Sox or anybody else for that matter. And if you're keeping score as to who won or who lost, you got to look at it this way. The players got most of what they wanted. The owners, well, Red Sox Vice President Haywood Sullivan had this comment.
You know, there's always winners and there's always losers on both sides, and I think that the owners at this particular time has established their credibility. They've preserved the lockout situation, and the players have preserved their strike situations.
The lone Red Sox player hurt by the agreement over arbitration was Ellis Burks. Burks came up short on qualifying for the 17% to be eligible for arbitration. He was upset today when he went home, refusing to comment to the media.
Well, he's a little upset. I'm sure that being 14 days short would upset anyone, especially the caliber of a player of Ellis Burks.
The way you got to look at it is that if he can go out and play the way Ellis Burks is capable of playing, 5 years down the line, Ellis is not even going to mind this situation at all.
Reporting on spring training that's finally here from Winter Haven, Florida. This is Bob Lobel for TV4 Sports.
All right, thank you, Bob. We'll hear from Bob Lobel again tomorrow. Indianapolis Colts running back Eric Dickerson has rushed for more than 11,000 yards in a 7-year pro football career. That's good enough for 7th on the all-time list. But if his remarks to Indianapolis television station WFYI are to be taken at face value, Dickerson has carried the football for the final time.
I've told the coach, I'm through. I mean, I'm through. I'm through with football. I mean, they know it. I mean, so I'm telling you, I'm finished.
And that's because you're disgruntled now, or?
No, I'm not disgruntled. I'm smart. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to end up in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. God gave me such a talent to play this game, and I mean, I'm still good, and I know I'm good because he gave me that talent, and my talent is still very sharp. But rather than stay in Indianapolis and take the pounding that I'm taking, I'd rather quit.
Pretty strong stuff, but you should probably keep in mind that just last Thursday, Colts owner Robert Irsay gave Dickerson permission to approach other teams about a trade. The L.A. County Coroner's Office says that Loyola Marymount basketball star Hank Gathers, who'd been playing with an irregular heartbeat, did not have in his system enough of the medication which had been prescribed to treat his problem when he died playing basketball 2 weeks ago. The Bruins will next play the Quebec Nordiques Thursday night at the Garden. That is, if they have enough strength left to lace up their skates.
Move forward! Move forward! Get moving!
For their lackadaisical play of late, Coach Mike Milbury sentenced the Bruins to 2 sessions of hard labor today, the kind of workouts you almost never see after training camp.
We're blowing it. You know, we're blowing a good season. We're blowing what we had is a pretty good roll, and we've forgotten what it takes. And we've got to rediscover what it takes to win hockey games, particularly in this building. Otherwise, we might as well just lose the rest and lose the home ice advantage because it won't do us any good.
Oh, he's tough when he has to be. 3-2 the scores for Chicago and Toronto tonight at Maple Leaf Gardens. St. Louis and Calgary 2-2 in the second period. The Celtics appear to be gathering momentum for their playoff storm. They've won 4 of their last 5. Next up, the Cleveland Cavaliers at the Garden on Wednesday night. The Philadelphia 76ers, to no one's surprise, beat New Jersey tonight 108-94. So the Sixers are in first place by a half game over New York now in the Atlantic Division. Boston a game and a half back. Dallas beat Atlanta. Sacramento, Utah, and San Antonio and Phoenix are still playing basketball. That's it.
Okay, and in baseball, they can play ball.
Can't wait.
Okay, thank you. David?
Tonight, Joyce reviews A Quiet Film, which has Academy Award nominee Jessica Lange topping the bill, but this is not the film for which she was nominated for Best Actress.
No, that was Music Box, and in fact, I think she was much better in this film, and this is without a doubt a much better movie that we shouldn't be quiet about. It's called Men Don't Leave, and it has a very intelligent screenplay. It's gentle without being sentimental, and it is sensitively acted by Ms. Lange and a young Boston College student who makes his motion picture debut here. Lang plays a widow with 2 sons who are trying to rebuild their lives after the sudden death of the father.
Enough is enough.
Morning, Mom. I'm having breakfast.
Well, you can have breakfast at home. Chris, I don't know what's
Mom.
going on here, but you are not to spend the night again. Do you understand me?
The movie unfolds like life. It's predictable, but in an unpredictable way. For example, Lang meets a man and finds work baking muffins. In a lesser film, she would have fallen madly in love and become the donut queen of Baltimore. In this film, she gets a nosebleed the first time she kisses the new guy, and later tosses her muffins right out the window. The film is also wise and realistic as it charts the course of grief in this family. They appear to cope quite well at first, but soon and inevitably there's a day of reckoning. Lang's complex, understated performance is a marvel. She finds every shade of feeling in a moment and delivers it fresh. Her eldest son is played by a 19-year-old Boston College sophomore making his movie debut, Chris O'Donnell.
This was, my first anything, really. I had done commercials and stuff in high school and some print work, but I'd never done any kind of a movie or had a bit part or been in a high school play or anything.
Working with Jessica Lang, I mean, that had to be intimidating to some extent, I would think.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad for me because when I first auditioned for it, they're like, oh, it's a movie with Jessica Lange and this and that. And I knew she was a movie star, but I wasn't sure which one she was because, there's a lot of movie stars, and I never was really into movies.
Would you like a Pellegrino?
Is that beer?
No, it's bottled mineral water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure. I love those. Are really good.
You're really sweet. I'll get you a juice.
He is really sweet in this film. He's got to do very well. He's majoring in finance, and he now knows who Jessica Lang is, for sure.
He'll fit right into Hollywood with those two things in his...
And an excellent film. You should see it.
Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good night.
America West, we fly with pride, we care for you. America West, we fly on wings so bright and new.
America West Airlines has the most nonstops to Phoenix, Las Vegas, and convenient service all over the West Coast, including Northern and Southern California, Portland, and Seattle.
America West, what we serve is you.
Mazda isn't shouting about its spring sales event. Not with values like this 626, with more room and a better basic warranty than Honda Accord. It's priced $966 less. And now get $1,000 cash back plus air or automatic at no extra charge. With up to $1,810 in value, we don't have to shout. But maybe we want to.
At your local Mazda dealers now.
Les Miserables, the musical that's still selling out on Broadway and taking the world by storm.
On my own, pretending he is beside me.
Les Miserables has returned to the Schubert Theater for a limited engagement. Call 1-800-233-3123 for Les Miserables. Don't miss it.
Inside Report, weekdays at 4 on TV4.
And now, stay tuned for the best of Carson. From Hollywood, The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson. This is Ed McMahon with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra inviting you to join Johnny and his guests, Academy Award winner Jodie Foster, the songs of Reba McEntire, and Carson monologue abstainer Josephine Burke. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Was that a standing ovation, sir, or do you have prickly heat?
Oh, you're in a grand mood tonight. Thanks for coming. Have they been keeping you outside? You believe this? What is it in the valley right now?
105.
105 degrees. Now, you see, when it reaches 105 degrees in California, you get what is known as the Bryant-Gumbel effect. You want to beat up the weatherman. You know, I'll tell you, this was a steamer today. It was so hot. Thank you. You were ready for that, weren't you? It was so hot today, a Hollywood weirdo went into the frozen food section of Ralph's and flashed Mrs. Paul. It was so hot today, Margot Adams was dating hockey players. It was so hot today, I got a couple more. Snow White was hiding behind Alan Carr for shade. Oh, well. The temperature's rising faster than gas prices. Right. You know what is gas now, about $1.40? Oh, I'll get to that later. But look on the bright side. It may be 105 degrees to us, but that's 750 in dog degrees. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Where'd you park the boat?
God, I wish I'd talked to the writers before I came out about that. Or I'd kill you. Speaking of Alan Carr and Snow White, did you see that the Disney company is suing, I guess, the Academy Award people for infringement for using Snow White in an unflattering way? Yeah. Well, they got hit with another suit today. Butterball sued the show for impersonating a turkey. Now, the Disney organization is a high-class organization, but I think it's a little ironic they're suing for unflattering use when they stick Mickey Mouse's face on everything but airline barf bags. Well, what else is happening today? I guess the big news thing is Gorbachev is in Cuba, right? Have you followed that on television? It's a real media circus. I understand we need Dan Rather there, but do we need the anchor team from Entertainment Tonight? You see Dan Rather, he's always in the streets. He wants to get out and look like he's amongst what's really going on, and he looked uncomfortable. Because, you see, they got cutbacks at CBS News, and if you look closely, he's not in Havana. He was standing in front of Cuban Pete's Taco Drive-Thru down here on Sepulveda Boulevard. Gorbachev gets great press, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like when he was in the United States. Did you see him arriving? He was surrounded by 6 roadies wearing satin jackets that said, Gorby Tour 89. Now, Castro, to me, just doesn't make it as a world leader. He looks like Gabby Hayes, and he dresses like Gomer Pyle. But the Cubans, as you know, are not used to a lot of visitors. They took a poll. They showed that most Cubans thought that Dan Rather was Desi Arnaz, and Gorbachev and Reza were Fred and Ethel Mertz. Anyway, I haven't been back since they had that terrible tragedy up in Alaska. That swell company, Exxon. Really did thing, huh? They say the captain was drunk at the controls, right? And they can't find him. They said the captain, we've been hearing for 3 days, the captain is looking to turn himself in. It's not that he's avoiding the police. He can't find the damn station. And you know what'll happen? He'll get a slap on the wrist and he'll have to attend oil barge driving school. The Exxon company, the company was a heart. I thought was pretty cavalier about the whole thing. Their idea of a cleanup crew was to send Nancy Walker up there with a roll of Bounty towels. Did you know that gas went up, what, 10 cents? At every pump in Southern California? That was the day after. The day after the spill. How come it never goes lower when they find oil? I love the Exxon company. They said the oil spill was a fluke accident. Not only fluke, but salmon, herring, cod, halibut. You know, fluke is a fish, you see. Kind of a flat fish. Stays on the bottom for a while. Hard to spot a flat fluke. Well, I'm just amusing myself. I was so delighted to hear today that Jim and Tammy Baker are recuperating, this is in the paper, in a Florida home for tired evangelists. Personally, I'm about ready to go in a home for people who are tired of evangelists. No, I think Jim and Tammy are staying at the Jimmy Swaggart Home for Poop Preachers. I think in Loose Drawstrings, Florida. Some town like that. What else has happened since I've been gone? California may ban, now get this, suction dolls that you stick on car windows. May ban them. Is there something wrong with the society that it's okay to carry an Uzi, but they're going to ban suction dolls on windshields? Remember Vice President Spiro Agnew?
Yes.
He's in the news. You know what he wants? He wants $24,000 to be paid back to the government for bribes that he had to pay them. And he wants to take that as a deduction. That make sense to you? They shouldn't do that because every politician will want that.